Hello everyone, welcome to today's live webinar. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I'm Michela Fassi, Communication Manager at Milestone, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. Today we are here for our live webinar titled The Science Behind the Art of Grossing. And we will see together the main issues with grossing today and how we can solve them. Milestone has been in the field since 30 years. Our mission is to reduce patient anxiety by providing pathologists with technologies for same-day diagnostic results. And you can see from the picture, we are proud to offer innovative solutions in different fields, like frozen sections, cytology, sample handling, tissue processing, macrodigital, tracking, and reagents. Before we start, I just would like to grab your attention for a few seconds. In this slide, you can see the basic functions of the Zoom platform through which we are broadcasting. The meeting controls hide if you're not using them, and they reappear if you move your mouse. The microphone will be off for the entire webinar. If you want to communicate, if you have any technical problems or comments, you can use the chat box to communicate with me. And you can type your question anytime during the webinar in the Q&A box, so you can see the icon. There will be a Q&A live session at the end of this presentation. Now let's have a quick look at today's speakers. We will first have a presentation by Andrea Di Croce, who is quite new in the Milestone family. Andrea is an application specialist with degree in medical biotechnologies. And then a practical part by Federica Rubini, an application specialist as well in Milestone. She has a great experience in macro digital and grossing stations. This webinar will be recorded and will last about 40 minutes. Now, I think it's time to start, so I will stop my presentation and I will leave the floor to Andrea in the laboratory. So Andrea, you have the floor.
Thank you, Michela. Hello, everyone. I'm Andrea, Milestone Application Specialist, and I'm glad to be here speaking to you about the importance of grossing and driving you through the key points of this practice. But first, what is grossing? Someone thinks that just a dirt work, but there's more than a simple cut of different human flesh. As Corey Nash say, there's a value and a beauty in it. So grossing activities comprehend the different steps, which are the reduction of surgical specimens, the cut of the reducted piece, the selection of the piece to be included in the cassette, and the macro documentation. There are 4 key points to take into account. First of all, grossing is fundamental for a correct diagnosis. And the second are the safety requirements, especially for formalin handling and biohazard. The third is the need of documentation. And the last is the ergonomics for simplify operators' procedures and daily routine. Now we are going to analyze this point one by one. So grossing is essential for a precise diagnosis. If there's no sizing, no good cutting lines, or low quality tissue sampling during the first examination, there could be problems during microscopic analysis or following exams. It's useless to have the best PCR technology, NGS sequencing, or liquid biopsy if the tissue is poor in quality and not properly grossed. So the diagnosis could be invalidated. The second key point of grossing is the safety. Nowadays, surgical pieces are put in formalin buckets for transport from surgical room to pathology lab, but there is no standardized method for this practice. These lead to several problems that are sample problems because of altered morphology due to the bucket shape, and safety problems because of chemical and biological hazard. In particular, from 2016, it's mandatory to implement safety precaution because of carcinogenic potential of formalin fumes. Also, pathogen infection, like SARS-CoV-2 infection, are slightly common during grossing inspection because of different reasons. Partial tissue fixation lead to a little perception of biological risk. This is due to the wrong belief that once into formalin, tissue is totally fixed and pathogens are eliminated. In a real scenario, tissues needs a long time to be totally fixed and pathogen killed. Also, blade and needle can cause infectious wounds and harms. So, how protect the operator from those risks? Nowadays, several efforts are made to improve safety in grossing rooms, in particular in order to conciliate safety and ergonomy. Hood shield can preserve operators from chemical or biological contamination, depending on models, although don't allow to get closer to the specimen, causing difficult handling. Opening the shield can cause the operator contamination. These could be ergonomic, but not safe for sure. So how can we overcome this problem? Those images you see are several solutions put in place in different laboratories all around the world in order to try to overcome that problem. So the first image you see is a chemical hood that have a good chemical safety and prevent from fumes, but not from biological hazard, and has a poor comfort. The second image you see is a suction table that has a good specimen handling, but poor in chemical and no biological safety. At least some laboratory, as you can see in the third image, use conventional table. Those are not safe for sure, sorry, but allow a good specimen handling without biological or chemical safety. Biological hoods are now largely diffused because chemical safety is more taken into account than biological. The third key point I want you to pay attention at is the documentation. That practice is fundamental for diagnosis and case interpretation. Nowadays, there isn't a precise method to document grossing. So pathologists, as you can see in images, have to be creative. That practice leads to different criticals, such as no safety, that's an operator-dependent procedure, and there's no standardized multimedia. There's a possibility to lose files. So this image you see underline the need of standardized method of documentation in order not to lose information and create a precise and enhanced report surrounded by pics, videos, and audio records. This is a clear example how a decontextualized small part of a masterpiece, that is Gioconda from Leonardo da Vinci, taken individually can't be understood, but seen in the context is art. The same happens in pathology, and that image clearly shows the importance of properly documentation. As I told before, a good report should give information about all grossing activities, such as the specimen sizing, eventually the reduction of the piece, the cutting, including possibly multimedia files such as images, videos, and audio recording. This will be helpful for different reasons. First of all, simplify pathology work during diagnosis and refertation. It's important for verifying not to lose a specimen during all grossing procedure, from sample acquisition to the diagnosis. And the third point is that less personal, more objective. You can agree with me in this case that one image is worth than 1,000 words. The fourth key point of grossing is the ergonomics. So operator should be at ease and comfy during all process. This means that the grossing station must meet physician and operators' needs, such as the position, the possibility to work standing or sitting, and having enough space to move freely and in a safety way. In addition to that, it's the workplace that must adapt itself to the operator, not vice versa. There's the need, as you can see in the image, of a smart user interface in order to consult cutting guidelines without flying paper, as you can see, as I told you in the image. So, Milestone task is to follow the path from surgical room to pathologist microscope through every step in order to have a precise diagnosis. Dealing with the grossing step, Milestone presents his brand new model hood that is ultra gross, an innovative and unique grossing station, a perfect solution that balances the needs of safety, documentation, ergonomics, and modularity in a unique tool with a huge amount of innovative features like innovative flow, airfoils, horizontal safety glass cover, and other features that my colleague is going to show you soon. All this innovation challenge the status quo, improving in different ways safety, modularity, and reporting. This is the new state of art of grossing station. Because all of these features, ultragross can't be simply named grossing station. This is a real scientific tool made to simplify in a correct way operators' daily routine with several features that now my colleague is going to show you. Now I leave the floor to Federica Rubini, Milestone application specialist, who is going to show you all these features in details. Many thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Andrea, and welcome everybody. It's my pleasure to show you our ultragross. In this practical section, I will show you the unique challenges to the status quo. Now I will change the camera for my presentation. The first unique feature is the modularity. Modularity is based on a continuous basing along the entire width of the unit. This is very useful to clean big specimens like colon and placenta. A set of sliding modules allow to tailor-make the unit accordingly to the operator requirement. Now I will show you how to customize your working area, easy and fast. The first configuration that I would like to show you is a configuration for 2 operators. So here, each operator has all the need to work: a big cutting board, a place to download exhaust formalin, a place to load fresh formalin through a pedal, and also it's possible to have on the top a camera with a dedicated software on a PC to complete, document the grossing. But in ultragross, you can have also a configuration for 1 operator. The configuration for 2 operators is useful for laboratories that they have problem of money and space. So the second example of configuration that I would like to show you is a single operator configuration with an extended cutting board. Extended cutting board, very useful to to do the dissection of big specimen. So we have extended cutting board with a digital system to document the grossing. A modular module to download exhaust formalin from 2 different positions. From the top of here, you can load fresh formalin in a bucket through a pedal, and here you have the sink. The modularity is also regarding the MacroPad digital system to document the grossing. Why? Because the camera can be installed on the left, on the center, on the right. The PC with the intuitive software can be installed on the lateral side of the unit, on the right, like now, on the left, or on the top of the unit. The second unique feature is the safety. The ventilation is done by a powerful downdraft and backdraft ventilation. Now I will do a practical demonstration and I will use a smoke test. The exhaust is homogeneous along the entire width of the unit. And also, if you consider the position in the center of the cutting board where there is the specimen, also here we have a very constant and homogeneous ventilation. This is the place where the formalin comes out. On the frontal aperture, we have a airfoil that reduces the turbulences and keeps the fumes inside the unit. Regarding safety, I would like to show you the safety shield that totally covers all the working area. We have a dedicated angle that allows the operator to work very close to the specimen in safe condition. So in ultragross, we don't have the limit of the vertical glass in the front of the operator. Now I will change again the camera to continue my presentation. The unit is fully certified not only against the chemical risk, but also for the biological risk. This is very important. Regarding safety, I would like to show you our accessories named ViroClean. By this instrument, it's possible to run an automatic cycle of biodecontamination of all the working area. ViroClean works with Supraspore, a peroxide hydrogen-based reagents that contain surfactant, so it can be used also to clean manually all the unit. The cycle of biodecontamination can be planned by the control terminal present in ultragross, and so it can be run automatically, for example, during the night. Another unique feature is the ergonomy. The working area can be moved up and down accordingly to the operator requirement. So the operator can decide to work some hours, sit down or stand up. In all the units, it's very easy to reach to all the commands, and it's important to say that ultragross is compliant to norms regarding the ergonomy. For example, regarding anthropometric requirements and mechanical vibration. Regarding the ergonomy, I would like to show you that inside the working area, we have a shelf, and it's very easy to reach. You can have on the right or on the left. We have a fixed magnetic tool, magnetic bar that you can have on the right or on the left. Very interesting is the mobile magnetic bar named Follow Me that will follow the operator during the grossing, and it contains all the tools for the grossing. In ultragross, we have a pedal to manually load formalin in buckets, and we have also a foot pedal to control some functionalities of the software MacroPath to control all the steps of the grossing. As accessories, we have also available a movable garbage that will stay close to the operator during the grossing. Of course, this vented bin is connected to the ventilation of ultragross. Another unique and important feature is the macro digital documentation. In ultragross, you can have integrated our MacroPath system that is composed by the camera that can arrive up to 20 megapixels and can apply 30 pair of optical zoom. That is quite a lot. We have a microphone, foot pedal. Through the foot pedal, you can do zoom in, zoom out, save picture, start and stop audio recording. A PC, Windows 10 touchscreen with a very intuitive software. If you want, you can have a washable keyboard with touchpad integrated. MacroPath software is very easily integrated with the LIS of the hospital. So on the top of Ultragross, it's possible to connect an extra monitor for the informatic system of the hospital. Now I will share the MacroPath software to show you some demonstration. Okay, now the first action to be done is to open the case name through the laboratory request and to position in the center of the cutting board our specimen. Now, through the foot pedal, I can adjust the zoom. I can make one picture. Then I can, for example, move the specimen and apply a second picture. The focus automatically is managed and adjusted by the camera. And I can edit one picture and I can do some edit. For example, 2 points, and automatically I do the sizing. Or I can choose the sizing area. Then I can, for example, add a test. There are available many other edit tools in MacroPath software that if you are interested, we can see in another presentation. I can, for example, add to this picture an audio in MP3 file, specimen of 65 millimeters. And you can see on the right all the pictures that I have done and the MP3 audio files. In MacroPath, it's possible to do also video recording with audio. Thank you. And now we can come back to the presentation. The last unique feature is the smart user interface present inside, in the middle of Ultragross. I will now make a zoom to show you in details. Outside, we have a membrane keyboard to control some functionalities of the unit. Up and down of the table, lighting, power of the ventilation, and presence sensor that when activated can control in automatic mode the ventilation and the light. In the center of the unit will show through a color coding the actual status of the unit. Like, for example, the position of the safety glass. You can have information regarding the formalin exhaust tanks, so you know when they are full. You can know the lifespan of filters. It's possible also to connect to the control terminal a USB with, for example, the AAPA guidelines for grossing. And then through this terminal, it's possible to visualize, like this example, documents with the grossing guidelines or training videos. Okay. Now I come back to the main Zoom and I would like just to resume all the points that I have shown you. Ultragross is for sure modular. The operator can decide and set up all the working area. It's possible to decide, first of all, if Ultragross should be for 1 or 2 operators. You can decide the position of the cutting board, of the sink, where you want to download exhaust formalin and load formalin. You can decide the position of the digital system. The unit is safe. We have a strong downdraft and backdraft ventilation with the constant velocity on all the frontal aperture of the unit. The unit is ergonomic. You can move the working area up and down, and through the safety glass, safety shield, it's possible to work very close to the specimen in safe condition. In Ultragross, you can have a MacroPath system to document all the steps of the grossing, and all the features of the of Ultragross can be controlled by the smart user interface. Now my presentation is finished. Thank you very much for your attention. And now we are happy to answer to all your questions.
Thank you, Federica and Andrea, for your nice explanation. I'm gonna now read to you some questions. I have collected some questions already, but in the meantime, feel free to type again your question in the Q&A box. So a first question for you, Andrea. Which are the dimensions of this unit?
Okay, this unit is 180 centimeter long, and it's possible to have the same version 150 centimeter long. But there are, in order to simplify, we have 4 pre-configured models which are fully customizable. So we have two main dimensions, which are 180, this one, and 150.
Thank you, Andrea. A question now for Federica. Is it possible to have one single operator position? And in this case, can I have the cutting board on the right?
Okay, thank you. Yes, as I show you in my presentation, in this version that is 180, you can have the configuration for 2 operators, like I showed you before, or the configuration for 1 operator. I've shown you before a configuration for 1 operator with 1 extended cutting board. Now, maybe Andrea can help me, please. We can show them the configuration with 1 operator, the standard configuration. So we can add the big sink in the middle. So what we have here, the space for buckets. Here we have the module to download exhaust formalin and to load here fresh formalin through a pedal. Here we have a big sink, and here a big cutting board with, of course, you can have the MacroPath software and the camera to document the step of the grossing. I remember you that here in Ultragross we have the modularity, so you can have the same configuration in the opposite part. So you can have the cutting board on the left, the sink still in the center, and you can have the module to download and load formalin here on the right.
Thank you again. I will read another question now for Andrea. How is the ventilation of this unit?
This unit has active ventilation, has 2 motors inside, and it's possible to have passive ventilation with an external motor according to laboratory needs, using a laboratory ventilation. So it's possible to both have active and passive ventilation.
Okay. Again, another question. I will switch to Federica now. Which are the differences between Ultragross and the common chemical hood?
Okay, good questions. The standard chemical hood, I would like to say that have been designed not thinking to the pathologist's needs. Milestone started to develop Ultragross thinking to what I need to do the grossing. So first of all, here in Ultragross we have the modularity that you don't have in the standard chemical hoods. Then in Ultragross you can have the possibility to have integrated the digital system to document all the steps of the grossing. In Ultragross you can have a possibility to have 2 operators working. Each operator can work independently with all the needs to do a good grossing. Regarding safety, in Ultragross, you don't have the limit of vertical glass in the front of the nose. And what you do to stay close to the specimen during the grossing is very easy, that the pathologist needs to put out the glass. But with Ultragross, you can have this safety shield with a dedicated angle that allow the pathologist to stay very close to the specimen in safe condition. In Ultragross, we have also available ViroClean, that is a system to run an automatic cycle of biodecontamination of the unit. We have also a certification against COVID. This can be useful. And then another important feature is that we have the smart user interface that allow to easily control from the operator the main functions of the unit. And also, it's important to say that we have developed ultra gross thinking a lot regarding the ergonomy. So the working area can go up, can work up and down. We have the safety glass, and all the parts are very easily reachable by the operator.
Okay, another question for you, Federica.
Yes.
Can you move the monitor for MacroPath to another location?
Yes, absolutely. So continue to talking about the modularity. You can have the monitor of MacroPath on the side of the unit, so you can have on the right, on the left, or on the top of the unit. Then, of course, I don't know if the question maybe can be different from, for example, the PC of the pathologist. Remotely, you can install MacroPath viewer in the PC of the pathologist, so remotely you can see all the pictures done in the laboratory. Maybe also this can be interesting.
Thank you. A question for Andrea now. Which type of light is present?
Yeah, on this model, we have diffuse LED light under the working surface, and it's possible to have additional spotlights to put on the top of the unit, and it's also possible to have MacroPath light turning on or off thanks to the smart user interface. And the light is diffuse and is all across the working area, so can give you a really good visibility of the specimen. And that's all.
Okay, I have another question. Maybe Federica, you can show again the smoke test if you put it on the side of the hood.
Yes, sure. Because it's true in my presentation, the position of the fumes was just here, but in reality, as I have told you, it's important to say that we have a powerful downdraft and backdraft ventilation, and the exhaust is homogeneous in all the frontal aperture of the unit. So now I will repeat the demonstration, but to see better, I prefer to change the camera. So please just one moment that we adjust the video. Okay. Okay, so I start from the lateral side, from the left. Then I move in the center. And now I move on the right. Okay.
Thank you, Federica, for showing us again this smoke test. Actually, we have finished to answer all our questions, so we can almost finish our webinar. Of course, if you have any other question left, please send us an email, a request. You can now see now I'm sharing a final PowerPoint for you. You can see here our contacts. So if you wish to receive any material from us, if you want to schedule a customized virtual demonstration with our specialists in the lab, feel free to contact us, and we will be glad to make a demonstration for you. Also, in order to keep up to date with Milestone news and events, please follow us on our LinkedIn and Facebook pages or on our website. Thank you once again for watching and attending today. Tomorrow you will receive an email message with the video recording of this webinar. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.